and welcome back to Dad. Did we just figure out how to break America?
I'm Skylar, your resident Gen Z doom scroller.
And
That's my dog.
And I'm Corey, your cynical Gen Xer.
We've kind of addressed it. We addressed it on the Robotsky Institute, but we haven't addressed it here necessarily. But we had to put our dog down.
Yep. July 4th weekend, yes.
And I've had him since I'm 8 years old. And I don't think you realize how unique the love of a dog is until you don't have it.
Yes. There is no other person, animal on the planet or in our lives that loves as unconditionally as a dog does.
No.
And don't get upset, ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there saying, no, a dog is not supposed to replace human love. There's no question about that. It's totally different. But as a friend, as a companion, yeah, that's the word. Call them out when you know them.
I feel like so much of our lives, you like to talk about social media and like the negative effects. So much of our lives are conditional. So many of our relationships are conditional.
Well, they're right. They are. I don't know if the word conditional is the right word. I would say they're transactional.
Transactional. What can you do for me?
Yes.
For the last 15 and a half years, the dog has just been here.
Right. We have to take care of the dog. We have to make sure he's okay. You have to feed him. You have to walk him, all that kind of stuff. But he didn't ask for anything else. And he was always there, especially for me. I mean, listen, that was my best dog friend. So, trust me, I get it. I feel a complete void in my life.
It's also just a horrible decision to have to make. Like, we made the right decision, and I know we did, but it's barbaric.
It is barbaric, but I think life is based upon perception, and I'm not perfect either. Yes, you heard it here. Everybody probably wants to
take a note,
print that out. I'm not perfect, and I don't practice this as often as I should, but when you look at the 15 and a half years you had and all of the good times and all of the companionship and all of the funny pictures and anecdotes and all of the different things that surrounded just dog being there.
Yeah.
In the article that I wrote about it, it is true that the most probably important time besides adopting the dog and, taking care of him and training him and helping him grow up from a puppy and to become an adult dog was the decision to do the thing that he can't do for himself. Because he always did things for us. Not that you couldn't do for yourself, but he did all those things unconditional.
Yeah. And that was a hard decision for you to come to terms with.
Well, it's very difficult.
No, I agree. I think I knew he wasn't getting better. And he'd been getting older for a long time, but he looked so scared.
Death is scary.
But when he would look at me scared like that, I was like, this isn't fair to him anymore.
No, it's a big realization that a lot of what we do as pet owners is we try to keep the animal around for ourselves because it's not really for them.
No, I read somebody said, like, you should feel proud that you made this decision, no matter how hard it was to make it, because you loved that animal enough that you took their pain away and brought it on yourself.
And one of the things that I thought was most important, because I've read a lot of people's depiction of what happened when they had to put their dog to sleep. and what the dog thinks at that last moment. And, a lot of people, I guess, shy away from that or can't emotionally handle watching it happen. He was the first pet that we got as a family,
Yeah.
for our family. So it was very difficult. It was very, very difficult. And I do understand how barbaric it is. And I do understand that some people look at it as I can never go through that again. I don't want to go through that again.
I didn't for like 5 days, and somebody said to me that's never had a dog, and I was a basket case. They said to me, "Is it worth it?" And I said, I think so, but give me a couple days." And then a week later on the next Friday, she said, "Was it worth it?" And I said, "Dogs give you one bad day."
Well, every day wasn't great. I mean, watching the dog get sick,
No, but
watching him get old was very, very upsetting. But I think,
they give you one terrible day.
yes, I think that, life is full of good times and bad times, and death is inevitable, whether we want to face it or not, and we have to really face it. Um, so it is a very difficult thing, and I'm not, I think it's completely worth it because the amount of time that I spent with him over the past 15 and a half years, he made everything better.
Yeah.
Just by even just sitting with me in very, very difficult times. And I went through probably some of the worst times. And it's crazy to say that because I didn't have the greatest childhood either, but I probably went through some of the worst times in my life when he was around. So, and he didn't care what happened in the day. He just cared that we were together.
Yeah.
And wherever I was going to go, that's where he wanted to go. So, to all the dog lovers out there, all the pet owners.
Invite me over. I just want to pet somebody's dog.
Well, soon enough, you'll get your own dog.
It occurs to me, like, we lose people, but when you become a certain age, losing your loved ones is traumatic no matter how you slice it. It just is. But there's very few relationships like a dog that you've had since you were 8 that you see every single day. I don't live with my grandparents.
No, I understand that, but you have a frame of reference.
It's a constant, though.
You have a frame of reference with your grandparents and your parents. You will get older, you'll move on in life. That's the rite of passage, and that's what people do. And you'll get married, hopefully, and you'll have children, hopefully.
What does this have to do with the dog?
I'm saying you'll move on in life where being with your parents and being with your grandparents are not constants, but the dog or a pet is there every day, all day. They're always there. And then all of a sudden, in the flash of an instant, they're just gone.
And you have to come home without them.
Correct. And that is...
I didn't want to come home.
I understand.
I went to Bloomingdale's.
Well, where every good Jewish girl should go.
What most people don't know is that Hollywood edited every podcast with me, and he was our producer.
Yeah, so we lost our canine producer.
And
Hollywood used to, during a podcast taping or during, a topic discussion, he would actually make his viewpoint known, whether or not he agreed, he didn't agree.
He'd get so pissed off.
He liked the topic. He didn't like the topic. He liked the direction the conversation was going. So
Sometimes he'd just get up and leave.
Yes.
he was done.
He'd vote with his paws.
You think he's listening to us? Do they have the podcast in Dog Heaven?
I'm sure they do.
Anyways, get a dog. That's my life story.
That's it? The whole life story?
That's it. It's my memoir. He's done. It made him so uncomfortable that he's leaving and he can barely walk. Okay, and he held it together to run away.